Hello and welcome to the Spargur Yarn Crafts channel. My name is WSpargur. I am your host. I am coming to you from Henderson, Nevada, where I live with my two dogs, Princess and Duchess, and my roommate Delilah and her dog Duke. In today's episode, I have absolutely no idea. I didn't look it up before starting filming, but the number should be in the title by the time I get around to editing and actually uploading this. But today we're going to do the works in progress. If you are new, thank you so much for coming to the channel. I really appreciate you clicking on this video. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I really do appreciate your continued support. Make sure that you've subscribed and liked this video and hit that little notification bell so you can get an update every time I upload a video. If you're looking for any of my social medias, those are in the video description box below. You can find pretty much everything about me, my dyeing company, and there's some affiliate links also in there for some of the products and things that I use, both for filming my podcast and in my everyday crafting, so you can check those out below. So let's jump right into the works in progress. I've got three things that I'm going to show you today. I do have more works in progress than what I have to show you, but I haven't really touched them, or if I have, I haven't made a lot of progress and I didn't feel like it was worth moving them out here, but they will make an appearance in a future video, I promise. So let's just go ahead and start. The first thing I'm working on, let me get the pattern out, is a crochet shawl called Lost in Time. And this is a shawl designed by Joanna Lindahl. And it's a pretty simple repeat, but it's a textured kind of shawl, and my printer's black and white, but there's a lot of different color in here. And the only thing that I don't like about the pattern so far is it doesn't tell you when to change color or what yarn she used. And the only place I could find the thickness of the yarn she used was on Ravelry. It is a free pattern. Well, I've got the hook case, but I don't have the hook. I'm doing that. I believe the pattern calls for worsted weight, and it looks like she's using something similar to Karen's Simply Soft. It's an anti-pilling it's got a sheen to it. I'm sure it's probably acrylic, but again, there's not a lot of information in the pattern, and it also doesn't really say anything about the color changes. So I'm on my second, or actually I'm still on the first 26 rows. I think I'm on like row 23 or something. But I'm actually doing mine in fingering weight. And this is the leftover skeins from the Anzula cowl. Hint, hint, that's probably going to be showing up in a different video. So this is fingering weight, teal and gray, 3.5 millimeter hook. It's the color changes every row, so there's a lot of dangling ends. And the repeat is rows 15 through 26. And I understand the repeats. I'm not thrilled with the construction of some parts of this. And I actually started kind of changing it as I went. There were places where it said to do like a double, so there's these popcorn stitches throughout the pattern. And in some places, the pattern says to work into the top of that, and I hate trying to make that work. So instead, like here, this double crochet is actually it's a back post double crochet. So I like the texture a little better. It also makes the popcorn pop out a little more. I don't know. I think because I've been doing all of those Helen Shrimpton Afghans. I can kind of see where there's something that would have worked better, and I'm making those adjustments as I go. I also don't like, she has all of this open stitching, and I don't like the way that it's created. I think there's a better way to do, I really think there's a better way to do some of this. So on my next repeat, I'm going to try those ideas that I have for making this better and for making the colors pop in different ways and to make the texture pop a little more. And I'm gonna give that a shot and see what happens. The other thing is I'm either gonna have to do a lot of end weaving, or I'm gonna have to do some kind of border where I work over all of those ends. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that yet. I'm doing so sometimes when you connect a new color, you connect with a slip stitch and then you just chain up the number that you need. And this pattern does say like a chain 3 counts as a double crochet. I actually found a video from Marley Bird. I believe it's on just her blog or something. It might be on her YouTube channel too. It's a technique of where you do like a stacked single crochet. So you do, instead of doing a chain 1, at the end, so you finish your row, you turn. Instead of chaining, you're going to go back into that first stitch and do like a tall single crochet. And then you work kind of into the side of that single crochet and do another single crochet on top of it. And it actually looks like a double crochet, but it's a stacked single crochet. So I've been doing that. And because of that, I think I can actually cut some of these ends relatively short. And I'm not going to have to worry about them coming undone. But if I'm going to do that, I need to do it after blocking, because obviously I need to do some stretching. I don't know how big this is going to get. It's not very big now. It's barely a bandana. It's a mask! Oh god. So I don't know how big it's gonna get. The skeins, I'm probably down to about half the skein now. So in each color. I don't know, we'll see how big it gets. It's not my favorite thing to work on, so it's kind of taking a back seat right now, because I also have some design commissions that have to be done by September. Someone reached out to me to design something for a virtual event she's doing in September. It's the end of July. And she's like, can you have this designed, worked up, and then get 2 testers to work it in the other 2 colorways before September 13th? Oh, so I had to work this morning, and I didn't go to bed till probably 2 this morning because I was up and I was like, okay, I need to have this design like ready to go so that when I get the yarn, I can just have this pattern typed up, I can work it up, and then I can, as soon as I get the other 2 skeins, I can have my testers ready, and I've already got them set aside. I've already got the 2 testers. But, like, as soon as that gets to me, I'm going to send those out to them and be like, here's the pattern, here's the yarn, go. If you have any questions, let me know. And the only reason I'm doing it with testers instead of just doing it all myself is I do need other people to look at the pattern and make sure that it makes sense. Because if I do it, I obviously know what I meant. But if somebody else looks at it and they go, I don't know what you're doing here, that's a problem. So anyway, that's the first work in progress. Lost in Time and free pattern on Ravelry. I don't think this designer has a website, so if you're not able to use Ravelry right now, I also just don't highly recommend this pattern. Like, it's a good pattern, but I think there are things that could be better. So that's the first one. The second one is one that we've seen before. But I have actually put in a decent amount of work on this. And that is not cooperating. Nope, that's wrong. Okay. That's my sweater in my own hand-dyed yarn. This always looks more red on the camera than it is in real life. It's really not this red. It's a darker, muted, cool tone red. It shows up on camera as a cherry red. Hold on, I'm about to lose my needles. Okay. So I actually finally tied in the second ball of yarn. So the first ball of yarn that I used went from cast on to like down here. So I've only done about 4 or 5 rows in the second ball of yarn. And the second ball of yarn is this big. So, next to my head. That's how big this is. And I actually have another one this size and one slightly smaller. I won't need all of it, obviously. But, it's going really well. I think I have about another... I tried this on, and it comes down to, like, my belly button. I've got another probably 6 inches to go. I also did try this on. Woo! Sorry, I kicked the tripod. Because... that's who I am today. So, about another 6 inches to go, and I tried it on, goes down to about my belly button. It's a little tight. That being said, this is superwash. It will stretch when I block it, so it will get blocked. But yeah, it's a little tight because I think I did part of it wrong. I honestly think I did part of it wrong. And that's okay, I'll just fix it the next time I knit something. The next time I knit a sweater, though, it's going to be from a pattern, not just kind of plugging some numbers in. So about 6 inches left to go. I'm going to do 1x1 ribbing on the bottom. Does anyone know, let me know in the comments if you recommend or don't recommend doing an I-cord bind off on a sweater. I'm curious. I haven't seen it because I think most people want the bottom of their sweater to be kind of stretchy, and I know an I-cord isn't super stretchy. But let me know if you've done it and whether or not it worked out. Because I'm really kind of into I-cord bind-offs right now, and I kind of wanted to give it a go, but I don't want to do it if it's not highly recommended. So let me know in the comments what you think. So I'm hoping to get this done, by winter. Again, a lot of these are going to end up going on the back burner while I get some of these designs out of the way, and then I'll jump back into the knitting and crocheting the things that I want to knit and crochet. I have to say, I really enjoy just kind of making things up or creating new things instead of doing things other people have done. But I love doing patterns that other people have created because it helps me learn new techniques, especially with crochet. There's so much to learn with crochet right now. I really just love following patterns instead of making my own. I'm learning so much about shape and texture just from all these different Afghans that I've been doing, and that really helps with getting ideas flowing. So, third work in progress. This is brand new. You haven't seen this, and I just started it not too long ago. I decided to start the Star Flanket from Stephen West. I'm very, very excited. I've only knit 1 or 2 Stephen West patterns before, and this one was gifted to me. I want to thank my friend Jennifer for gifting this to me. Now, the pattern calls for DK weight. I don't have a lot of DK weight yarn in my stash, so I am doing this on a bunch of random fingering weight. My needle, it calls for a very long needle. But this is how it's going. I actually have, so this is parallelogram number 6. I have 2 more to go for the center, and then I'll start picking up all the way around to knit the outside. So this is the center star. These are all different fingering weight yarns. Well, right now I'm just using 2. So these 2 are from when I first started dyeing. It's called Tree Hugger from my budget knitter brand. This is that Knit Crate marled thing I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with when I got it, but that's what I'm using it for now. And then I caked up about 5 or 6 other different yarns just to have them. I don't know how much I'm going to need. I don't know. I'm debating right now whether or not I want to follow the color changes that are in the pattern, because it only calls for 4 colors. Do I want to follow the color changes as they are in the pattern, or do I want to just use up, just keep knitting with a ball of yarn until I run out and then just tie in the next one? So I'll show you. This was one of the first ones from the parallelogram. Then there's one that's very similar to mine. All of the labels are inside the yarn, so I believe this is from Lorna's Laces. This was gifted to me. This is a yarn mop from my own dye studio, so it never had a name or anything. It's just a skein I threw in to absorb some additional yarn. Or dye. This is 3 Irish Girls, I believe, and I got this at my local yarn store. And this is another yarn mop from my own dye studio. I actually really like the variations in this. And then the last one, this is a Knit Crate yarn. This is Titmouse. So if you've gotten Knit Crate, you might recognize this. I think it's from about a year ago. But I remember that this was the first like super luxury one we got. They actually still have some available in the Member Central shop. But this is, well, I guess I'm not putting the label back in. This was Merino Silk Cashmere. So this was kind of the first, because everything else I had gotten from Knit Crate up to this point seemed to be kind of a pretty typical base. This was the first one that was kind of nicer. And I remember we only got one skein of this. So, yeah. Those are all the ones I've caked up. I don't know what'll get used. I don't know what won't get used. I'm kind of leaning towards using more of the other stuff that I've bought or received and less of using the yarn mops, but I do also want to use the yarn mops because I think that they're very beautiful and they're very unique, and putting them in this pattern would be very nice. So that has kind of been, I kind of keep it just like on the living room coffee table, and so when I'm in there and I'm watching TV or something, I'll pick it up and work on it in there while I'm chilling with the dogs or something. So those are my works in progress. Thank you so much for joining me. Tomorrow we're going to have some finished objects. I do actually have a couple, which is really exciting. And then I don't think I have, as of right now, I don't have a Wednesday video. There may be, there may be not. Make sure that you've got the little bell notification if you want to find out when I upload. Thursday, we've got some sewing updates. In fact, there's some of the sewing stuff I've been working on right there. And then on Friday, we will have some live updates. So thank you so much for joining me. I will see you again here very soon on the Spargur Yarn Crafts channel. Thanks. Bye.